Hey, good morning and welcome to Life with Peter. Today my wife and I are going to take care of our manure in our paddock from our horses. I've already put up a couple of videos showing how we do some composting, and I'll put the links in the description below. But because it's so hot and dry here in the Salt Lake area, the manure is dried out, our piles dried out, they stopped composting, so we're going to have to come up with a solution to pile them again and also get them wet again so that they will continue to compost. You need air, water, you need to turn them and keep them moist for the temperature to be high enough. So we're come up with an idea and we'll show you what that is. So let's get started. So you can see where the manure has piled up. This is where our horses like to poop, is along this one fence here especially. So what we're going to do, and my wife's already started, is we're going to rake the manure. You'll see that it's really dry, and so very light. We have to be careful to get wet for another reason, which is that when we go to scrape it, it's going to get really dusty in here. But we pull it away from the fence with the rake so that the tractor can just come in with the box scraper, scrape it up, and then put it in a pile. So we're going to create two piles. We're going to add to this one here, which is by the entrance to our paddock, because this is the newest manure. And then we're going to take this pile over here, which has been in other videos. It's cooked down, but you can see where the horses have stepped on it and everything else and knocked it all down. We're going to scrape as much of that as we can because that's already nice compost and ready for the garden. And we're going to put it outside the fence where we store it over here. See, I've got the fence, the electric fence down. We'll store it out there. We can load it from out there. We bring people's truck into here. I go in, I get the manure, I load their truck, and away they go. But we're going to take all this newer manure as well, and we're going to make another pile right in here, running this way. That way I can turn it from either side back and forth and continue to wet it down as I'm turning it every week. And that way it'll help cook it down into good compost. So we've got quite a bit of manure to scrape up. We're going to wet it down, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. This is something we haven't tried before. So this is what we recently bought. It's a Manure 9620 sprinkler head with tripod, and it extends its legs just like a normal tripod would. It goes to 4 feet, and the hose fitting is here. We're going to hook that up to our watering system, and then it's got just a typical sprinkler head here, although this seems to be much better made than your typical sprinkler head. So this goes up to 4 feet. We'll hook up the hose and we'll do as much of the paddock and see how it works. But hopefully this will saturate all the manure, including the manure piles and the new manure, and keep the dust down. So we'll have to let this run for a little bit. At that point, while it's getting everything wet, we're going to go over and split some more wood for our firewood business, and we'll just keep an eye on it. First we'll move that pile over here that's ready to be sold, and then we'll turn this on, and we'll show you that in just a minute. Anyway, so I'm going to get the hose in a minute to hook up to the valve here, but I've just set it so that we're in one of the corners. It'll go down this fence line here up to this fence line here. So we're doing a 90-degree sweep and just let it soak. We've got a bit of a wind, so we'll have to adjust it if the wind starts blowing it across the minis so they don't get all wet or frightened. And then it's got adjustable legs, so if I want to adjust it so I get a little more height, I can just bring those legs back a little bit, or however I need to. And we're still adjusted pretty good, I think. And we'll hook it up, turn it on, and see how the adjustment is. Okay, I'm going to go turn on the hydrant and test to see if we've got the adjustments right, especially for the wind, concerning the mini horses in the small paddock here. So let's go turn on the water and have a look. So we've adjusted it to go down this fence line and down this fence line, doing a 90-degree sweep from this corner. We could actually take it further down and do a 180, but this way I'm going to go right down this line and down this line, and then when it's good and soaked, we'll come back and we'll change it. We're getting at least 40 feet out, if not more. I think it's going to work really well, but we'll check back in a little while and see. Well, it didn't go quite as planned, but we learned a lot. You can see some areas that have dark spots where there's more moisture. Now, this is from an old pile, and that's newer manure. This is the first pile that I ever showed on a video with a bit of new stuff in it, and it was barely reading steady, but I didn't feel it was time to put it into our stockpile. I want to burn it out a bit more, so I just added a bit of more stuff to it, new stuff, and we'll water it down. We didn't get this far with the watering. We need to get on to working with our arena for tomorrow. We've got our trainer coming and doing some stuff in the arena. You can see here, it's all really dry. We haven't done anything here. Over here, you can see where it's puddled and where it soaked all the way through the new manure and puddled here, which was fine. Basically, when we scraped that up, a lot of the moisture got into there, but we got the paddock nice and clean. Here's where the rainbird sat for a while, and you can see how wet that manure is right there. So later on I'm going to put the hose on it and soak each pile. This is another little pile I started over here. I want to have them composting at different times. So that scraped all this area here up to our neighbor's fence and behind where the horses like to go. So we'll start a new one here and we'll put new stuff there. This will be the last we put here. It's pretty wet, but I will soak it some more. We're really happy with it. It took longer than expected, but we were trying to figure out everything and how it was going to work and what we were going to do. So it's better than what it was, because I can get the manure wet before I scrape it up, and that puts moisture into the pile. Hey, anyway, thanks for being with us today and being here for this experimentation. It's worked pretty well. Not as well as we thought it would right off the bat, but then there's a whole learning experience to it anyway. So again, thanks for being with Life with Peter. If you like the video, please click the like button. If you want to subscribe and hit the bell button, you'll always be notified when we put up a new video. So take care, have a great day, and see you on the next video. Bye for now.